Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all my viewers all over the world, from wherever country or state you're watching me from. Today we are taking number basis, and I will be taking it from the smallest part of number base to the biggest one, where you can probably be having one or two problems. So first of all, you need to know that when you talk about number base, it can be in any form: base 1, base 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on and so forth. But one thing you should know, if a number is in base 1, that means the numbers will only be in, we only have just zero, will be a compilation of zero. This is what I'm saying. Like now, if I have a number in base 1, the things that will be there will just be zeros, ordinary zeros, which means that's why we don't have base 1. That's why we have just base, we have starting from base 2. So base 2 will comprise of 0 and 1, telling you that you cannot have a a number that is equal to the base or greater than the base in base in that base. For instance, e.g., if you want to have a number in base 2 now, you can have 101 base 2. You can see it's comprising of 10 and 1. That is just zeros and 1. You can't have anything that is if a number is in base 3, you should know that it's going to have a compilation of 0, 1, and 2. So e.g., you can have something like 211 base 3. You can't have anything like 323 because the base itself is 3. So and so on. Let's go to base 4. Base 4 you can is comprising of 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Base 5 is comprising of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Base 6 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Base 7 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Base 8 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Base 9 will give you 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And base 10, which is the common one that we in the natural base that we all know: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It won't have 10. It will stop on 9. So that's why you can, in base 10, you can have 90 base 10. That's, you are using 9 and 0. You can have 1000 base 10. You understand? That's why we call it natural base. But under 0, you can have something like, you can also have 1000 base 2 because it's still 1 and 0. But you can't have something like 2000 base 2. It's not possible. That can go for any other one. You can go for base 3, base 4, base 5, base 6, base 7, base 8. So it can be, so that's how you can identify some numbers and the base they can actually be. This is just by the way. So let's start from the scratch, which will take us to what we call conversion of number bases to base 10. So let's go from conversion conversion from order base to base 10. So example, if you are given, let's say you are given, they say convert, um we are giving convert 3, 2, 3, base 4 to base 10. Then you have your solution. So what you will do, you write your 3, 2, 3 base 4. Then you start numbering. I told you 4 base 4 is going to have how many? You can have as many. So you start numbering and you started from 0. So you start numbering. You start from this place 0, 1, 2, which means this will give us to base 10. You take it. What's the number here? That's 3 times what's the base? 4. Is the base that will be raised to whatever number you have on top. That's 2 plus 2 times 4 raised to power 1 plus 3 times 4 raised to power 0. Then we start the conversion again. 3 times 4 raised to power 2 simply means you should multiply 4 2 times, which is 4 times 4, and that will give you 16. Plus, this is 2 times 4 raised to power 1. 4 raised to power 1 is 4. 2 times 4 will give you 8. So let's just put 2 times 4 naturally. Then plus 3, anything raised to power 0 is 1 under indices. So this is going to give us 3 times 1. So let's see what this is. 3 times 16, that will give you 48. Plus 2 times 4, that will give you 8. 3 times 1, that will give you what? That will give you 3. Let's add it together. 48 plus 8, that will give you 56. 56 plus 3, that will give us 59 base 10. So that will lead us to the second part, which is conversion. You can see that our answer is what? 59 base 10. So let's now say conversion from base 10 to other base. So this will make us to be able to convert and know whether our answer is what? Correct or not. So let's have this 59. Example. Convert 59 base 10. And if they don't put any base, it means it's naturally in base 10. Or you see base 10 to, we converted from base 4 to base 4. So what you do, you follow this method, solution. So you put it on a table like this. Then you have your 59. You start cutting by 4. 4 in 5 is 1, remainder 1. 4 in 19. We all know that 4 times 4 is 16. So this will be 4. The remainder in 19, that will be what? Remainder 3. 4 here again. 4 times 3 is 12. Remainder what? 2. Then 4 in 3. 4 cannot go in 3. So you write 0. Then you write remainder what? That same number, you put it down. Then you take the arrow is always up. So the answer is 3, 2, 3 base 4. So you can see how to convert from other base to what? To base 10, and also from base 10 to other base. But mind you, this is for a number that does not have decimal. So now let's now go to conversion of decimal number from other base to base 10. So let's go to that one now. That's what we are going to. I want to believe you are getting what I'm explaining. If there's any question that if there's any challenge that you're having and you would like me to solve, kindly contact me or drop a comment at the comment section. So, and that's my code over there. So let's have conversion of decimal numbers from order base to base 10. From order base to base 10. So I will drop an example so that we can all understand. So let's assume you have a number like, if you have a number like 127 base, example. So let me break this example. Convert 127.51 base 8 to base 10. So if you have a scenario like that, you now write it as solution. You write 127.55. You know, the other time I actually told you that if you are converting from base 10, if it's an whole number, because this is the whole number, this one is the decimal. If it's the whole number, you start from 0, 1, and what? 2. But if it is decimal, you not start from 0, you start from 1 and write 2, because it's towards the other part. So you are going through the under place value. They call this place is not called unit, it's called tenth. So that's why we're having power of 1. This place is called hundredth. That's why it's having power of 2. But under place value, this place is called unit. That's why it's having 0. That is just this. This place is called tens. That's why that's 10 raised to power 1. This place is called what? 100. That's why you're having power 2. So for those of you that don't understand the meaning of this 0, 1, 2, we are dealing with place value. So this will give us, don't forget, this is still base 8, which will give us 1 times 8 raised to power 2 plus 2 times 8 raised to power 1 plus 7 times 8 raised to power 0. Then plus here, it will be 5 times 8 raised to power minus 1. Then this will be plus 1 times 8 raised to power minus 2. So that's how you go about it. So this will give us 8 raised to power 2, that's 8 times 8, that's 64, plus 2 times 8, 2 times 8 will give us 16, plus 7 times 8, 7 times 8, this is 8 raised to power 0, and that will be 1, that's 7 times 1, and that will give you 7, plus, but in this case, I want you to understand, 8 raised to power 1 will give you 1 over 8, so 5 times 1 over 8 will give us 5 over 8, plus, this is 1, 8 raised to power 2, this minus means it's 1 all over 8 raised to power 2, which will be 1 times 1 all over 8 raised to power 2, which, and 8 raised to power 2 is 64, which will be, if you change it, that will be 1 over 64. Then when you have 1 times 1 over 64, which means you have 1 all over what? 64. Here, this 1 times that 1 over 64. But here, this is 5 times 1 all over 8, which is 5 times 1. That's why we have this. So that's why we have 5 over 8. So moving further, let's know what the sum of the whole number will give us. 64 plus 16. 6 and 1 is 70. 6 and 4 is 10. This one will give you 80. Plus 7, that would be what? 87. So we have 87. Then plus, Now 5/8, you have to know what decimal that will give you. So if you do your 5/8 to decimal, then you see what that will give us. Or probably you go through your mode of, what's it called? You go through your mode of long division method. So 5/8, let's see what it will give us if I go through that method here. Let me just do it at this very corner. Sorry, 8 will be here. You have your 8, you have your 5. So if you have that, 8 and 5, that's not possible. So you have, sorry, this should be like this. 8 and 5, that's 0.0 times 5. 0 times 5, that's 0. You subtract, you have 5. You add 0. 8 and 50. 8 times 6 is 48. That will give you 48. You subtract, that will give us what? That will give us 2. You add 0. 8 in 20, that's 2. 16 times this, that will give us 16. Subtract, you have 4. You add 0 again. 8 in 40, that will be what? 5. 5 times this, that will be 40. You have 0, 0. So therefore, this is the same thing as 0.625. So let's go to the other part. Let me, that of 64. So let's have that one here. So that of 64. That means I will have 64 outside. I will have it this way. 64 outside. You have your 1. 64 in 1, that's 0. Multiply, you have 0. Subtract, that's 1. If you add, that's point. If you add 0 again, 64 in 10 is not possible. That's 0 again. This times this, you have 0, 0. Then you have 10. Add 0. 64 in 100 will give you 1. When you subtract 64 from 1, because this will give us 64. Subtract 64 from 100. What you'll be left with is 30. I'll give us 36. 36, add 0 to 36. So let's see, if, how many 64 do you have in 360? Let's try 64. 64 times 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 2. 5 times 6 is 30. That will give us 320. You understand? So that's 5. Multiply, that's 320. When you subtract that again, now let me bring it here now. 64 in 320. 320. Sorry, we have 320. When you subtract this one, that will give us 360 minus 320. That will give us 40. You add 0 again. That will give us, sorry, when you add 0, 64 in 400. 64 in 400. We should be thinking of, let's say 6. Let's try 64 times 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Keep 2. 6 times 6, 36, 37, 38. That's 384. So we have 384. When you subtract again, this one will give us 6. When you borrow, then you have 1 here. or is it going to be 6? I think it's going to be that what? Let's borrow from here. Yeah, that's 16. So we have 0. 64 in 160. 64 in 160. So if you look at it, you see that you are having a number that is just going on and off. So let's, if you do that, if you try 64 in this one, that will be 2. Let's try it again. 64 times 2, that will give us 120. So let's have 2 here. That will give us 120 here. Subtract. We are having 40. Yes. You can see that we are back here. So 64 in 400, you still have 6. So that means from here we'll be having, by the time you add 0, this 384. So we'll be having recurring decimal. So we just leave it there. So that means 1 over 64 will give us, this will be our answer. That's plus 0.015626, approximately to, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 decimal places. Yeah. So by the time you add everything together, let's add together. So let's have addition of this is 0.625 plus 0.015626 and balance up this one with 0. So this will give us 626. This is 0, 3, 4. This 2, 3. Then when you add 1, that will give us 4. Then you have 6. That's 6, 4 something. So that will give us, by the time you add it together, that's 87.640626, or approximately, if you put it to either, let's say, if you put it to 2 decimal places, that will give us 87.64. So that's how you do that conversion. So as we've gotten this 87, you can, I know you asked question, why do I put it to do 2 decimal? It depends on what they ask you in your question. If they ask you to convert, if they don't ask you to put to 2 decimal places, you can leave your answer like this. Now it will take us to the last part that I'm going to show you. Then after which, in my next video, I will teach us about addition, subtraction and multiplication. But today is all about conversion. So let's now have this one in mind. Then let's see conversion of decimal number from, this is in base 10. So this is now in base 10. So from base 10, so let's have that one. So I will write this number down. Then we'll see whether we are going to have our 127.51 base 8. But don't forget, their number is 127.51. That's 8. So let's see what is going to give us. So conversion of decimal numbers from base 10 to other base. So let's see how to go about it. Let me write the example. So this will now be this number that we got it. Convert example. So we have convert 87.640626 or 7.64 as the case may be, to a number or to base 8. So how will you go about it? Let's see. So just like I told you in the other one that if you want to convert from, so let's split it. So we'll split the whole number from the decimal. So this is the same solution. So let me just add this one. 87.62640,626 can be written as 87 plus 0.640626. So let's convert that of 87. So we convert 87 in, that's, so we are going to base 8. So we keep dividing. So 8 in 87, we have 1. This will give us 0, remainder 7. We go again. 8 here will give us, that is 1, remainder what? Remainder 2. You go again, this one will give us 0, remainder. You carry this one 1. Don't forget the law under this place. The arrow goes up. So therefore 87 base 10 is equal to 127 base 8. So that has been ascertained. Let's now go to the decimal part. The decimal part now, you have 0.640626. So to base 8. So this is what you're going to do. You multiply it by 8 because we are going to base 8. If you check when we are dealing with the other decimal the other time, what we are doing is we are dividing by 8. Like you see, I had 1/8, then so sorry 5/8, then 1/64. We are dividing by 8, so we'll be doing the reciprocal. If you look at this one, so when we are converting to other, we are multiplying, and that's why we are dividing here. So here, because in that order, in converting to base 10, we for decimal you divide. So for converting to other base, for decimal you multiply. So let's multiply this and see what you are going to have. So this is 8 times 6, that is 12. You keep 1. I don't know if you know how to multiply. Let me put it in a broad form here. So multiply by 8. 8 times 6 will give you 48. Right? 8 keep 4. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 4, that will give us 20. Keep 2. 8 times 8, 6 again, that's 48. 48 plus this 2, that will give us what? That will give us 50. We keep 5. 8 times 4 is 32. 32 plus 5, that's 37. You keep 3. 8 times 6 again, that's 48. 48 plus 3 will give us 51. Then we have 1, we have, so that's 5 points. So that means this will give us 5.17008. Then we keep on multiplying. Now when we've gotten this part, what you now be multiplying here, then let's say will be what is left. So this one will now be 1.70. What is after the decimal, that's what you need. If you look at here that I multiply, is what is, I didn't multiply this 0, you leave it alone. What you multiply is what is after the decimal point. So when you multiply again by 8. So that means we have this 0.17008 by 8. So 8 times 8, 64. You write 4, you keep 6. 8 times 0 is 0, write that 6. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 7 is 56, right? 6, we keep 5. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 5. That will give you 13. So we have 3, 1 comes here. So we have 1.36006. So we still multiply 0.36. Then we have 4. 0.36064. You multiply by what? By 8. So we still multiply this one by 8. So the thing is, when you are multiplying it by 8, make sure by the time you do it like 3 times, if they don't tell you number, you should put the number of decimal places, you should put your answer. If you multiply by 3 times or 4 times, you can stop. So let's see this one. 8 times 4 is what? 32. Right? To keep 3. 8 times 6 is 48. 48 plus this will give you what? Plus 3. 48 plus 3 will give you 51. Keep 5. 8 times 0 is 0. Then we write 5. 8 times 6 is 48. We write 8. We keep 4. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 4. 24 plus 4 will give us 28. So we have 8. Then 2 moves to the. So we have 2.8851. 2. You can still continue multiply by what? By 8. So depending on what they ask you, so after this one, I will stop. So let's multiply this one by 8 again and see what you are going to have. So that's 0 point. So when you multiply it, 8 times 2 is 16. Keep 1. 8 times 1 is 8. That's 9. 8 times 5 is 40. We write 0, we keep 4. 8 times 8 is 64. 64 plus 4, that will 68. We keep 6. 8 times 8 is 64 again. 60 is 64 again. 64 plus 6. 64 plus 6 give us what? 70. So we have 0. We have 7. So we have 7.08096. So I will just stop here. So this way, but in this case, you know, here our arrow is going up, but in this place, your arrow will come down, and you only take number before the decimal. You understand? So this will be the answer here is 0.5127 to base 8. So this is, or let me write it properly so that you understand that that's what is 0.640626 is equal to, in base 10 is equal to 0. You can see from here. So this way is 0.5127. 0.5127. So if you now join it with this one, so that will now give us 87.0640626 is equal to 1 to base 10, 1 to 7.5127. So approximately to 2 dp. So 2 dp is equal to 127.51 base 8. Base 8. So just like what you got the other part. So you can see, yes, it looks difficult, but it is not. So until our next video, make sure you like, comment, and share to friends. This is under the conversion of numbers from other base to base 10 and also from base 10 to other base. Please like and share and let other people learn from this work. It's still King of Mathematics. Until the next video, I say bye.